My golden child brother evicted me from the family farm the day Dad died, so I foreclosed on him using the mortgage note I secretly bought. I watched my brother Caleb bolt the heavy-duty padlock onto the barn door while my mother stood on the front porch, sipping iced tea and refusing to make eye contact with me. The sound of the drill whining against the wood felt like a drill going straight into my temple. "You have 24 hours to get your truck and your tools off the property, Dean," Caleb said, tossing the keys in the air and catching them with a smug grin. "Mom and I are listing the land on Monday. The developer is offering $2 million for the acreage. We can't have a grease monkey living in the shed bringing down the curb appeal." "Dad promised me the barn," I said, my voice low. I wiped the engine grease from my hands onto a rag. "He told me that if I kept the farm equipment running and paid the property taxes for the last 5 years, the workshop was mine." "Dad didn't write it down," Caleb laughed, walking over to pat my shoulder. I flinched away. "And since he died intestate, the estate goes to his wife. And Mom decided I'm the executor. Sorry, little brother. Business is business. You're just overhead." I looked at Mom. She just turned her back and went inside the house. That hurt more than Caleb's arrogance. I had kept the heat on in that house. I had fixed the roof during the blizzard of 18. Caleb had been in the city, blowing his startup capital on crypto scams and bottle service. "Fine," I said. "I'll pack up." I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I spent the night moving my tools into my storage unit. Caleb watched from the window, drinking Dad's scotch, making sure I didn't steal anything valuable. He thought I was leaving defeated. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Caleb and Mom didn't know why I had been working double shifts at the refinery for the last 3 years. They didn't know about the shell company I formed, Ironwood Holdings LLC, and they definitely didn't know about the letter Dad received 2 years ago from the bank threatening foreclosure because he was $400,000 behind on the mortgage. Dad was too proud to tell Mom. He told me, and since I couldn't just pay it off, I did something smarter. I bought the distress note from the bank for pennies on the dollar. I wasn't just the mechanic living in the barn. I was the bank. Monday morning rolled around. I parked my truck at the end of the driveway at 8 a.m. The developer was there, shaking hands with Caleb. "It's a beautiful piece of land," the developer said. "We can break ground on the condos by July. It's all yours," Caleb beamed. "Clean title, ready to go." "Not quite," I said, walking up the driveway holding a manila folder. "Get out of here, Dean," Caleb snapped, his face turning red. "I told you you're trespassing. Officer, remove him." He waved at the sheriff deputy who was leaning against his cruiser. The deputy, an old friend of mine named Miller, just tipped his hat to me. "I'm not trespassing, Caleb," I said, handing the folder to the developer. "And you can't sell this land." "I am the executor," Caleb screamed. "I have the deed." "You have the deed," I corrected, enjoying the confused look on his face. "But you inherited the debt too, and you're in default." "What debt? The house is paid off," Mom yelled from the porch. "Dad stopped paying the mortgage 6 years ago, Mom," I said. "He was drowning. The bank was going to take it, so I stepped in. Ironwood Holdings bought the note. That's me. I own the mortgage. And since you missed the balloon payment that was due upon Dad's death, I'm accelerating the debt." I handed Caleb the foreclosure notice. "You owe me $450,000 plus interest, payable immediately, or I take the farm." Caleb snatched the paper. His hands were shaking so hard he ripped the corner. This is fake. You don't have that kind of money. You change oil for a living." "I invest for a living," I said, cold as ice. "I change oil because I like machines. Machines don't lie to you." The developer looked at the foreclosure notice, then at Caleb. "You said the title was clean." "It is. He's lying." "I'm walking," the developer said, getting back in his car. "I don't touch family feuds with a 10-foot pole." "No, wait." Caleb chased after him, but the car sped off. Caleb turned on me, fists clenched. "You ruined it. You ruined everything. You have 30 days to vacate," I said, checking my watch. "And Caleb, leave the appliances. I plan to rent the main house out. I hear the market is great." Mom started crying, wailing about how I couldn't do this to family. "You evicted family on the day of a funeral," I said, walking back to my truck. "Business is business, right?" I foreclosed a month later. I moved back into the barn, rented the main house to a nice family who actually pays the bills, and Caleb is currently sleeping on a friend's couch, telling everyone how I cheated him out of his millions. So, am I the monster for taking the family farm, or did I just collect on a debt that was long overdue?